Hello, my name is Joe Carchedi. I'm an MD physician. I came out of Italy many years ago when I did my studies, and while I was there at the time, I got involved in professional cycling. I was being in Italy. There is a Giro, which is the Italian equivalent of the Tour de France, and I was always seeing bicycles go back and forth. So when I finished my medical school, I came back to the United States and did my residency in Chicago. At that time, I picked up a bike and I started to cycle avidly, as well as see a few other exercise activities, including some running, simple running. After my 2 or 3 years in Chicago, I moved to Philadelphia, and in that time, to help me along with my emergency room work, which I've been doing for the last 22 years, my diversions were to go cycling. Actually, when I cycle centuries, which is approximately 100-mile organized rides on weekends or various times throughout the year. And in between those time periods when I can't cycle, I would run half marathons or some marathons. So what has transpired is approximately about 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing my 6th or 7th century ride in the city of Philadelphia, and I happened to see the finish line, which was approximately a mile away. And I wanted to improve my time. So what I did is I put my head down, which I should never have done, and I went as fast as I could, and I actually hit a wall. And I got thrown from my bike. I landed, and I fractured my rib, collapsed my lung, and dislocated my shoulder. Fire rescue came along, which actually, and ironically, they actually knew who I was because of the emergency room physician that I am, and they brought me to the trauma unit. At that time, in the trauma unit, they put a tube in my chest, and I recuperated after a week with the tube, and then I had subsequent surgery. The thing that I wanted to say is the fact that at that time, when I did fall, I had it happened so quickly that I didn't have the ability to describe to either the fire rescue people, even though they knew me somewhat, what was going on and what I wanted to, how I could explain my illnesses and what was going on. Now, fortunately for me, I didn't have any medications or any other past medical history. But I say this because I've seen a lot of other cyclists, as well as marathon runners, that when they fall, they can't speak. And if they get taken to the emergency room, there is no way, as a professional on the other side of the table, which I also do, that I can get the information that I need to take care of the people. So it's important for everyone to have some type of documentation. And there are lots of products out there that actually log and puts either bands on your hand and whatnot. But these are only bands and all written things. But with today's modern technology, we can have an actual a USB flash drive that can log your entire history of your medicines and what you've been and what your surgery you've been, where you're born and things of that nature, which is extremely helpful in the emergency room, because when I go there, if I were to have something like that, all I have to do is just pop it into a computer and I can get your entire history if you fell, and I'll be able to treat you appropriately, quickly, and I'll get you out of the emergency room quickly so you can go home and do what you ever need to do so you can go right back on your bike. So that's my little story as far as what happened to me, and I think with this new technology, this is the way to go for the future because it's easy, it's portable, it's upgradable, and you can always use it whenever you want, and if you drop it, it doesn't break. It's really handy.